Jaylen Brown to the 76ers for Paul George, 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, according to Shams. Still having a hard time wrapping my mind around the return in all of this and why the Celtics felt the need to do this right now. But Vince, as we look at the trade in totality, did the Celtics make a mistake in moving Jaylen Brown?
Well, if we're going to have a list of Celtics mistakes, it might be longer than that list of the return and what they got back, but dating back to the whole Yonder stuff, dating back to everything that they wanted to put on the table for the trade itself. That 2028 first-round draft pick, courtesy of the Clippers, could turn out to be very, very valuable down the line. And when you look at the Celtics, if nothing else, this is a dollars and cents league. This is a luxury tax second apron league. He was making a lot of money, around $56 million. He was going to be eligible for a 2-year extension worth over $70 million this summer. And usually what happens in the NBA, which is why free agency has turned into trade agency, usually what happens in this league is if you don't offer your star a contract extension or star doesn't take the contract extension, that means it's time for the relationship between player and star to end. And once they got to that point, then they were going to be traded. This was going to wind up coming here anyway. Now you talk about the return. Can you get better by trading for a guy who has played a grand total, I think, of 73 games in the last 2 seasons, who's on a similarly heavy contract for the next couple of years, like Jaylen Brown? It's hard for me to say that, especially when you add on a Mitchell Robinson, who's a health issue. Paul George is a health issue. You got older and more physically vulnerable, so it's hard to say that they got better. But did they uncomplicate things? Maybe they uncomplicated things by this season because Jaylen Brown, I believe, would have had the rightful thought, hey, I'm the number 1 guy here. This dynamic has changed. I led this team to 56 wins. I should be the headliner here. Jason Tatum, you got to get it how you live. And they didn't want to have to deal with the people part of that, perhaps. And maybe they cleared things up. So maybe they didn't get better, but maybe they uncomplicated things, and that's how they're using that calculus. I don't know if I agree with it, but maybe that's their calculus.
Did they make a mistake, though, Vinny?
I can't say that they made a mistake yet. We don't know what those draft picks are, but they didn't make themselves better. They didn't make themselves better at all. No. And they have totally mishandled this whole thing, totally mishandled it.
Man, they made a mistake. They dropped the ball, trading Jaylen Brown, especially for what they got back. And I don't want to hear about the business side of it. I don't want to hear about Jaylen Brown making $70 million next year and he's going to be eligible for a contract extension. You know why? Because he's earned that. Usually when you move on from a player that's making top dollar, franchise player, it's because they're not delivering. He has been delivering in great fashion. His numbers tell you everything you need to know. This is a champion. This is a finals MVP. This is a conference finals MVP. This is an all-NBA, all-defensive caliber player. Two-way player in the game. And probably arguably the most important position in the game, the wing position. People are dying for wings, and I'm not talking for wing stop. I'm talking about in the game of basketball. And here it is that you trade him to the Philadelphia 76ers. Brad Stevens, basically handed the Philadelphia 76ers a trip to the NBA Finals. With that trio that they have, and VJ Edgecombe, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown, good luck to anybody in the Eastern Conference trying to game plan to stop that.
Not to be lost in all of this. This is the team that just put you out of the playoffs. Lost to him in 7 games. I know that it's 1 year of that, but you just sent the guy that was on your team who said he had the best season of his life, which we just showed you there, the stats, career highs in points, rebounds, and assists per game. You just sent him to your rival that knocked you out of the playoffs, David. Can you help me wrap my mind around how that couldn't possibly be a mistake?
It's a mistake, but it wasn't an accident. And that's the problem, is that they have been trying to unload Jaylen Brown for whatever reason for far too long, and that is why they're in the position that they're in. A guy who is 29, 7, and 5, and you can't even sell high on this dude right now. This is not about X's and O's or numbers. This is about the Celtics trying to make a square peg fit in a round hole, and there was no way for that thing to work. This does not make any sense. You can squint and say, hey, if you are going to trade Jaylen Brown for Giannis, there are a lot of people say that that is defensible, right? Giannis, top 5 player. But if you are going to do that, you can't let these two young centers be the reason that you don't execute a Giannis trade, because I don't, for the life of me, understand how anybody can think it's a win to say a week ago we could have had Giannis and today we got Paul George in the pick from 2028. Like, there is no way that is ever going to be something that anybody can justify. This is a terrible mishandling of an offseason, one of the worst that you can ever imagine from a team that is as prestigious and has made all of these good decisions along the line as Boston. To do this to Jaylen Brown, you have not even given the Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum pairing a chance with a healthy Jason Tatum after that injury. Can you look at last season? Boston going into the playoffs, a lot of people said they would have beat that Knicks team. And you see the Knicks win the championship, and you have your guys healthy, and you don't even roll them out on the court to give them a chance, and instead you put Paul George out there. There is no way that this is defensible.
See, I'll be right there with you, and then you just veer. I'll be right there with you.
Yeah, well.
Wait. But just let me do this. We saw what Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown did against the New York Knicks. They gave up 2 20-point leads at home. They fell down 3 games. They fell behind 3 games to 1 before Jason Tatum got hurt. They were leaving. They were being ushered out of that second round series. That was going to happen whether Jason Tatum got hurt or not. The Celtics, with Tatum and Brown, have blown their share of playoff series together. They have. They won the championship, and you can't take that away. There's no apologies for that. And they also have underwhelmed in other playoff situations. So if the Celtics said there's an expiration date on these two guys as they get more expensive and we can't build around them with the Porzingises, with the Al Horfords, with the Drew Holidays, because we can't augment what they bring, then you come off of one. I understand that if that is the case. I'm not sure that's the case. What I'm saying is I don't think they was beating the New York Knicks, not this year or next year. That's what I'm saying.
They got a better chance of beating the New York Knicks with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown than with Jason Tatum and Paul George in the 2028 pick.
We seen that movie already. We seen that movie. We just saw it.
We've seen the Paul George movie, but that's why you could not get rid of that dude. We've seen the Paul George movie. It's way worse than this movie.
And Vinny, listen, I would agree with you if both of these guys wasn't just entering their prime. I would agree with you if they traded and got back a Giannis. This is what I'm saying. Look, I want to put this, you know what I'm saying, because I don't like getting called to the principal office. I don't want Pete calling my phone. I don't want David calling my phone. I don't want Tim Corrigan or nobody calling my phone. So I'm going to put this in the most Disney ESPN way I possibly can. What Brad Stevens just did to Jaylen Brown was basically give him the middle finger. This was probably arguably the most disrespectful trade